Um, I'm Javier. For those of you who don't know me, yeah, okay. Am I spotlighted? Yeah, I think so. Hello, everyone. Um, I'm Javier. I am in New York, and I am super excited to join this session. I'm always excited to connect with anybody in the Geshe Michael family and the Five Houses and ACI. I talk very fast. So my biggest joyful effort in these sessions is to speak to the interpreters in a pace that they can handle. So please, if you guys notice that I'm going too fast, let me know because I tend to get excited and I just stop talking without stopping. Um, it's been so meaty. There has been so much content. Uh, I hope that a lot of it landed in your mind and that it will move you to the highest reality, to the best, most amazing practice. Um, a little bit about me, so you know that I'm not thrown there. Quick question, because I don't know if I'm seeing it backwards in my computer. Does my background look okay? Because in my computer it looks the other way. Okay, good, thank you. Um, okay, so class 3 and 4 yesterday. Uh, from Geshe was very with very beautiful, practical, applicable content. Oh, sorry, I was going to tell you about me, so you know who this guy is. I'm connected to ACI and Geshe Michael and the Five Houses through Three Jewels in New York City. Some of you know Hector Marcel. He's my Lama heart teacher guide. Um, and I have been studying with him for around 12, 13 years now. I first heard Geshe speak here in New York City in 2006. And he suddenly put words to things I already kind of suspected about life, cause and effect, and um, the interdependence and things. But I did go down a little bit on that edge that he spoke of on class 3 about that, well, if nothing exists, then nothing really matters. And it was that day that I heard Geshe speak that I was like, oh, there might be something else. And it completely uh, spin me into looking for a teacher. And it took me 6 years to find Hector La. And it's taken me, I don't know how many hours of study and meditation and effort and bumping my head against the wall with the same concepts over and over um, to pretend that I understand some of these things. No, it's not pretending. I understand a little bit, but I don't understand enough. I feel that if I did, I obviously wouldn't be in this body or in this condition. Mm, the so in class 3, he talked a little bit about this, about the nan and the tongue, the appearance and the emptiness, and how you can go too much into the materialistic world in a way, into the appearances, the anything that I cannot see, hear, taste, or feel must not really exist. Um, or there's the other extreme where you can fall off the cliff of nihilism, where if nothing matters, then nothing matters. It doesn't matter how I act. Um, we talked about compassion and bodhicitta and how developing that, cultivating that will keep you away from those extremes. The multiple causation was curious to me. The not curious that I didn't know it, how one causes two, and after two, like three defines two, two defines one as well. They both need each other, the interdependence. What was curious to me was the way it was presented. And it's just beautiful because every time I hear Geshe speak, um, it always has something that I haven't heard, that I don't know about, or that I haven't heard in that way. But of course it does, right? He's there because of that. Um, and then the next class was all about the 16 ways of creating a good life, and this idea of not just preparing for death, but start planning out your childhood, the next life. What would that look like? And then always the promise that we're gonna learn how to do that in the content to come. Um, I don't know that I want to go through all the 16. I have the notes here. I could, but they already covered it before too. So this would be like the third or fourth time that we go through them. So let's not. I think that the most interesting thing about this tea and teachings, which by the way, I don't drink tea, but I'm drinking coffee. So I hope you guys are partaking on your favorite nectar. Um, the the idea of this is not to be a me talking. The idea of this is for it to be a gathering where we all kind of like participate. So I don't know if there's like a way for people to unmute themselves or raise their hand and I unmute them. Um, there are some questions already being dropped on the chat. Can you talk a bit about the relationship between Nang and Tong, please? I understand the two. In relationship in my mind, I feel not so practically understood. Okay. Um, the I mean, the relationship is that mainly the Nang can only can only exist if there is emptiness itself, if there is Tong. There's no way for things to change and arise if there was like a fixed existence of them. Um, yeah, I mean, so Nang is not karma. I think that was actually defined also in one of the other tea and teachings that was brought about. Nang is more like the flowering of the karma. Um, so it's like the paint that the brush left leaves behind on the canvas of your reality. If canvas is emptiness and the brush is karma, your actions. Um, so the paint is the Nang, the experience, the appearance, the thing that hurts you that doesn't really exist. Um, that's my understanding. That's the way I understand it, right? So I don't know if anybody, and this is the part that I like about uh, spaces like this, where it is not just me talking. I am completely open because my mind is always, or I try to be always in a beginner's mind. I would love for anybody who has anything else to add to anything that I say to go like, hey, I would love to also add to that. Or, hey, you're wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong because if you know how to be right, I want to be right. So I'll hear you, right? Um, but that is my understanding of the Nang and the Tong in this presentation, right? There is the emptiness, which is where everything gets projected on. The fact that there is emptiness is why reality functions the way it does. And the tang is the flowering of that experience. Um, so I guess like the other side of karma in a way, the result of the karma when there's a cause and an effect. That's the tang is the effect. Um, yeah, did that help, Kathy? I hope it did. Maybe not. Maybe I gave you more questions. And if I did, then that's great because we can inquire more about things. What else is in your mind? What are like the big things that so the blank paper is tongue, pigs are tang? In a way, yes. I think that that's I would say that. Um Anaí Luis Rojo, I don't know how to do the highlighting of the people, but somebody of the co-hosting, if you can spotlight Anaí.
Yeah. Yeah, hi Javier.
Good to
Nice.
see you.
Well, I've been thinking about the punchline that Geshe Michael mentioned in the first class about how in order to help yourself, you need to help others. But because I've been working so hard trying to take care of myself, because I discover that sometimes trying to help others, I'm hurting myself. So I during these days I realize how important it is to take care of everybody at the same time. Because if we hurt ourselves, immediately, automatically, we are hearing other people because we are not able to help them.
Yes.
And I, my mind is like crazy with this because in real life it's so difficult, so difficult. And I was wondering if you have a special tip or um yeah, or something that you can share with us how to grow in this practice all the time, taking care of ourselves and others at the same time.
Um, that's such a great question, and gracias. Thank you so much for bringing something like that up. Don't hurt yourself when you're helping others, please. That's for you and everyone else. And you bring up that a very important point of all this. Like, if I am not fully available, if I am not fully present, if my body is not with full energy so that you can be of service, then it's you're doing a disservice in itself, right? So that's where I understand you're coming from. And I mean, I don't know, there are tips everywhere. Uh, I I think that the main thing is to keep showing up, and to not use, yeah, keep your vows. Like if you follow the instructions, you do the thing. Like that's the it's the path is so masterfully laid out that we just need to catch yourself wandering off the path and then bring ourselves back to the path, just like we do in meditation sessions, just like we do in like everything in our life where we find ourselves disoriented. And the path tells you that it is through others that you awaken, through the service of others that you awaken. It doesn't serve oneself. Now, I think that there's this very important thing that you mentioned, like, well, at what point? Am I servicing too much that it becomes detrimental to myself? And if you think of yourself as one of the everyone that needs help, then you will also start realizing where you need more in terms of your physical body, your mind. I think that, so I come from the business world. So I come from a place where you're not really thinking about others pretty much, except in an extraction kind of way by nature. Like that's the instinct of the thing. Um, so it's as a practitioner, and this works in family matters and in everything, right? Like in general, the idea is to wake up. Um, and the material that we have to wake up is all around us. The reason that we have to wake up is all around us when we see other people around us struggling the same way we do. So, as a practitioner, when we are looking at the things that what I do, for example, in my business, I look at the goals that the company might have or the troubles that one of our members might have. And the natural human thing to think is, well, how can I do more to get more of that? But if you apply all these principles and you go like, well, who can I help to get more of that? But you have to do this once you have taken refuge, once you have understood karma, once you have understood emptiness. Because it's the only way to go like, I know with all certainty that by helping other people, I am helping myself. And then you have to be open the moment when your reality opens up and the karma starts flowering, to recognize it, to rejoice, and to give it away again. And
Yeah,
then you're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to be tired. You're not going to be unhealthy. You're not going to like it's it's just mathematically impossible, karmically speaking.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I I discovered recently a very subtle way of my arrogance is working in the type of arrogance that you think that you compare yourself with a god, and these thoughts tell you that you can do everything and that you can help and to solve everything to anybody. And sometimes with this arrogance and these bad thoughts, you do some stuff that hurts yourself because you are not a god. And it's like, but what I understand now is if I keep doing my best with my practice, this at some point is going to change. I, I don't need to think too much, right?
I mean,
This
yeah,
arrogance
it
or
I like the way how you call that arrogance, because it is a
no,
kind
no,
of
there
arrogance.
are eight
Absolutely. Yeah.
types of arrogance. There are eight types,
Yeah.
and one of these types is this, very subtle.
Yeah. Um, remember that this is our instrument. This is our instrument. This is our instrument, right? Like not just you remember. Remember that everybody should remember this. But like the same way we are devoted to our teacher because they are our connection to the Dharma, this instrument is our interface to plant the karmas to wake up. So take care of yourself first to the point where you can function best for others, and then go all out. So if you know you can function, and this is, do not quote me on this anywhere else. This is not scripture. This is me like editorializing. This is how I work. If I can function on 6 hours of sleep and be at 99% level in my mind and my body to service people, or at 90% level, there's no reason in my mind to sleep 8 hours to get to 100, because I'm wasting 2 hours where I can be doing, where I can be moving. Now, sleep maybe is not the best example because there's a lot that you can do in your sleep. But in general, in terms of effort to output, take care of myself as much as I need to be fully present without indulging in myself, and then be 110% in service. Because the karmic return on that is impressive, is incredible, it's ridiculous. And then every day, the more intention you put behind it, every day you have more energy to go through.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. What a great question. What a great conversation.
Thank you so
Um, Let me see. Let me check in the chat because I know it's going bing bing and I haven't really taken much of a look. Sorry. Having joyful effort. Wait, great question. Learning not to forget myself and didn't knew in my life to recognize. Yeah, it's important to learn, right? It's as important as to remember to breathe. Sometimes I catch myself not breathing. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta breathe. I forgot myself for a second. Having joyful effort is how we serve, take ourselves of others. You need joyful effort. You need to get to joyful effort. Joyful effort doesn't come naturally for everyone, right? Joyful effort is something that requires practice, so much so that it's not the first perfection. Um, it would be if it came so easily, but it's hard because joyful effort means really doing anything joyfully, regardless. Even the things that we don't want to do. Let me see. Very helpful to remember. There's somebody showing up. Angelica Curse. Is that no? Yes? Angelica, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Perfect. You're a great example.
Oh, I
And
try.
I think the thing, joyful effort, what I understand is doing the things with fun, which means even things you normally don't like. If you
Hmm.
do it with fun, then it's it's even better. Then the time passes by quickly and everything works out. And each person you are acting with, you are connected with, you have to think about it's your earth where you plant seeds. And when you
Yes.
do it with fun, with joyful effort, then it's even better. That's my opinion.
I love that opinion. That's actually it's a great intention. It's a great framework to approach everything. I think that the part that's like sometimes there are things that are harder to do with fun, with excitement, right? Like there is there's a practice that I did, and I started sharing it around my friends at Three Jewels, and it became a thing that we talk about. Um, I don't know if I have shared it in any ACI thing before, but and it's like a way of transmuting an activity into something joyful. And I hate doing dishes. I know few people who go like, yes, I want to do dishes. That's so great. No, Um, and I didn't come up with this by myself. I'm sure that I heard it from somebody that knew better than me, and I just copied it years later. I cannot pinpoint who said it. Uh, but I suspect it was Lema Merud, but don't quote me on that. I turned my doing the dishes into a purification practice where every dish that you clean, it's a karma wiped away. And it's still not fun, but it's much more productive. And there, like I rejoice on the result, right? That's kind of like a way of using that things that I don't love in the way uh, uh, of applying joyful effort as a practice. I remember also I used to run a video production company, and doing accounting is also one of the things that I don't like. As bad as doing dishes, like bookkeeping, accounting, who likes that? Um, and it was also back when 2008 and the financial crisis was like either in full boom or like the few years after where we were in recovery. And I was just learning these practices, and I had just reread the Diamond Cutter Sutra by Geshe. And I was like, well, accounting, bookkeeping is not bookkeeping or accounting any longer. What it is actually me helping people have jobs or create jobs because we work with companies to expand their business through video communication. So I was helping people create jobs in a world that needed jobs at the moment. And that was the mind that I applied to to that activity that I didn't like. I really disliked it. It was like my body would tense up when I had to do it. But yeah, you add some kind of fun to it. You make it a game. You make it. Uh, that's the beauty about a reality. It's malleable. We have the opportunity to add intention behind every action, and that intention dictates the direction the karma takes. Um, that was a metaphor, the direction and the karma. That's also not scripture. Um, yeah,
I
that's kind of
like
my take on that.
I like the word intention you said. If you have the right intention and motivation for doing things, then you do it with joyful effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter what kind of work or things you have to do. I like your example with the dishwashing. Do remember that Geshe once mentioned in in a teaching years ago. He said if a couple wants the other one to make the dishwashing, and then who plants the better seed that the other one is making the cleaning, yeah? And at the beginning, I tried to plant the seeds that my husband is doing the dishwashing. But then I realized the good things, what I can plant with dishwashing or with cleaning the house or with all the things I'm doing. You find all little, you find a lot of little connections which you can use planting seeds.
Mm.
You know, the thing we plant 65 seeds per
Yep.
second.
Yeah.
So having one action, one act of giving is like, yeah, a
It's
basket
powerful.
full of seeds you can
Yeah.
use in different directions.
Yeah. And if you apply that to every action that you take, it that's really where the awareness comes to. So, I mean, like maybe take like a little curve here into like a side street, but being fully aware all the time because you are planting 65 seeds, a snapshot of a finger. And so if I am doing the dishes for, say, 15 minutes, and I can hold my mind on that state of purification for a half of that, for a third of that, like you say, that's a bag full of seeds. That's a bag full of merits that will create Buddha bodies and Buddha minds and emanations and amazingness, you know? Um, yeah, it's important to cultivate that awareness, that state of mind, that and to get to that joyful effort. And at the beginning, you have to pretend the joyful effort. That's also true. You have to pretend the joyful effort. Um, and then eventually it comes natural. And then you go to another activity and then you have to pretend it again until you wake up.
You said we are doing a sidestep, but I think we're on the picture falling off the edge. Because if as you said, if your mind is on the job, on the thing you are doing,
Yeah,
then you are not falling off the edge.
right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Angelica. What a great contribution into the joyful effort aspect of the practice, which I think that people are very good at thinking about that part of the practice and less good at putting it together. Anyone else in the chat here that has something? I mean, I keep see people popping, but I cannot really read. I don't know if anybody has. Okay, having joyful effort. Yeah, I read that one. Thinking about every living being. Mom. Oh, thank you for that, Yuta. Yeah, thinking about every living being was already my mom. That helps a lot in serving others. What are teachings and practices you love the most and help you the most? Uh, Tonglen Sutra was the highest, most incredible practice to me. Um, yeah, that's not it's not even up for debate. I also practiced it for a long time. I mean, for a long time, for like a year, maybe a little more, every day as my main practice for a while. And it does something to your mind in terms of serving others, in terms of like looking at other people in the eyes and realizing that uh, it's not like their pain is not foreign to you. Um, and realizing that there's there's no way of helping them from that same space. Like there's no way of really, really helping any of us from that same pain. We have to free ourselves from it. Um, that yeah, like the cultivation of bodhicitta through the practice of Tonglen, to me, is one of the most powerful practices that anybody who is not in Diamond Way already should be practicing like every day, all the time. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you many things about it. But the most important thing that I can tell you is that it works, that it really like moves your heart, that it really at some point you start like without pretending, without like not pretending, like just falling in love with every being that you encounter. And then if you stop practicing, then well, of course, the karma runs out, and then you have to practice other things. But yeah, I'll leave it up to that. Who else would have something else to say? What are some ahas that might have come up? Do you know Maxorma practice? I don't know Maxorma practice. Elmira, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm nice. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much. And when we're talking about the um, that we should do everything with a high uh, high mood, yes, yeah, with some beautiful intention. I remember that before meet these teachings, I hate to do anything in with water. I mean, I had to wash something because when water became dirty, I was so angry with that. So I think that it is my seeds. It is really very strange seeds with this element, I think. So, and about Maxorma, Venerable Jigme gave some Russian students and me also. I'm from Russian-speaking side, so it is really very, very beautiful practice and very, very strong Tonglen there too. This practice against of war, and in this practice, we must understand that even war is from our seeds. So I just wanted to say about these 2 points. What do you think about when you hate do something, especially probably in childhood? So we bring it through our life, and we are so happy. And now I understood that we really, this is our way, probably from previous life to practice that. And probably we are like yesterday we're talking about that Master Randava gave us these tips to create the life. So probably we did it, and now now I love to do something with water, and I love to see that everything become very clean and I can create the paradise. So just what do you think about my thoughts? Okay.
Thank you for sharing. That's all very insightful, interesting, personal. I love that you share personal. I think that a lot of good stuff comes from that personal space. Um, I look, I think that the it certainly comes from some karmic seed, right? Like all that stuff. It must be a karmic seed, and I think it's legit to think. I have to slow down, translator. Sorry. I think that it is legitimate to think that it might be from a past life if it happened in early childhood. Um, the fact that you haven't been able to overcome it and now play with that, it certainly sounds like you skillfully took something in your life that is difficult and transformed it. That's a big part of like practice and growing as a human. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, I think it's kind of funny too, the way that you relate it to water and dirty. It's endearing, funny. The I think that the part where I would be wary is the this practice of planning our next life is not as straightforward as like everybody can do it without knowledge or without a teacher or without having like a practice, right? Like the idea of this is that if we um have a high mind, then we could skillfully plant the seeds, knowing that that's what's going to flower in the next life. I don't know. I don't know how many people can do that, because to be honest, too, this is the first time I heard that teaching. So we're all learning in this together. I wondered for a moment, like, oh, did I on purpose like plant my parents? Or is that just another because I have fantastic parents. That's what I was like rejoicing on that. And that was like another part of like, well, I don't know that I had like I don't know that the past life of my mind, first, I don't know that they were human. And then I don't know whether they were skillful humans. Uh, it took me 26 years to find these teachings. And had they been skillful, Geshe was saying that he was going to have teachers when he was 1 year old in his next life, which makes me think that he's going to be born to a Buddhist family. Um, I also thought about my kids. It's like, well, they're born to me, and I teach, and I talk to them about these things. Did they choose me in that way? Like, is this like a whole bunch of minds perpetuating a lineage, and this is how we do it? Maybe. I don't know. I can't wait to discover more from this teaching. Um, and then a comment on the practice that you mentioned. Uh, I don't know it directly, but I do know that sometimes we have worked. I'm more recently in the last few years that we have seen more wars in the world, or at least more present. We have worked with with war in Tonglen practice. It is it's very difficult if one has not taken real refuge, and not just to say that like, oh yeah, I took refuge or refuge vows, but like in your heart, if you have not taken refuge in karma and refuge in emptiness and refuge in your teacher, and somebody tells you war is also coming from you, it's very easy to go like, no, that one doesn't come from me. But it is, right? Like it's not the I am the one perceiving it. It cannot be coming from anything or anyone else, because that cannot be the one exception. If it's true for the pen, it's true for war. Um, I think that thank you for bringing it up, that it's all our responsibility to purify our minds for the sake of all these beings who are not they cannot be locked into a class like this right now because they don't have access to it or they're being bombed. Um, may we all wake the fuck up. Thank you, Amira. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go back here to the chat while the next person jumps in. Would like to see, yeah, I would love to see those notes too. There's not a lot in the chat anymore. Let me see what time. I think we have time for one more person to uh, I don't know, share some insights someone has that they might have had in the last couple of days or anything in their
I see
practice.
Laura once.
What is that?
Laura.
Laura,
Oh, Laura, I don't
Laura,
have, if anybody can spotlight her, because I don't know who it is. Aha, Laura and Daniel,
Now I
how
have
are
light on
you?
me. And now the light is coming on me and I can see
All
myself
of
next
it.
to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to share. First, I want to share because the discussion was about dishes, and I realized it was my first practice with joy to do the dishes because I realize if I make the space empty and I want to say the aha moment from today, it was about the space. The space is one of the things that doesn't start and doesn't end and does not change. And if I make empty space, then I'm gonna attract money, I'm gonna attract everything that I want in my life. So I started doing dishes, washing cups for the tea and everything. And I was just waiting if somebody has some cups, some things. And I'm so happy to do the dishes. And all the time I'm looking for dishes. And it's my practice to be joyful. And even my friend, she's starting to eat more healthy because I dropped 20 kilos from my body and I inspire her. And she's like, oh, I don't like to do the dishes. And I said to her, you're going to make more money if you do the dishes. And now, last time when I saw her, she said, Laura, I'm thinking of you. I still don't have enough joy, but I'm thinking I'm going to make money if I wash the dishes. And she's so sweet, and I'm so happy because me doing the dishes for myself, it was a good thing, inspiring others to do the dishes. And my
So
aha
good.
moment from today was with the empty space, because I used to be a healer for a long time. And like 2 years ago, I dropped doing a lot of healings because I hurt myself doing a lot of healings. I was feeling too much the other persons. And me dying wasn't good for anybody. I couldn't help more people if I was keep doing too much things for others and with too much overweight and not taking care of myself. And with making space, I made space for myself in my life. It was so difficult in the beginning because I had to say no, no to don't do so much healings, to don't do so much courses about healings. And people in the beginning, they were like, oh, Laura is mad. Laura doesn't want to help us. But actually, I start to say to them, look, if I'm dead because I saw myself dying, because I train my mind to see in the future, to see in the past. It's for me is something that I can do with meditation. And if I was keep doing the same things, I was dying not so far away and not so nice in my sleep, like not breathing. And I said to them, look, if I'm dying, I'm not going to help anybody. So I made space for myself. And step by step, I notice making space for myself, how the people around are more inspired because now it's a friend. She has 3 children. She's a mother and she's in her 40s like me. And she never think to drop 20 kilos from her body. But now because she saw it's possible with my example, she start to do things for herself. Thank you. Thank you
That's
so much.
awesome. I love that like the fact that you inspire people through the action. That's the best way of teaching. There's the teaching that Geshe does on the stage. Many of us do it. It's great. But you don't see my day to day. We don't see Geshe in his house. That is the teaching, the practical aspect when our friends see us. That is like the one that transforms. That's the evidence of the transformation of our reality. Thank you so much for that share. I am glad that you decided to take care of yourself. It's like kind of like a perfect round circle to Anais' question comment at the beginning of like you have to be well to be able to like you have to be healed to be a healer.
Yes, yes.
You cannot be a broken healer. You're not going to be able to help anybody. That's so true. Um, and then what I also love about this is that you found yourself having these difficulties and not just learn to say no, but then like in a way, your healing knowledge healed yourself, right? Like it's just like the perfect way of like how you can include yourself in the many people. Uh, it's it's great. I'm glad you love doing dishes. I still don't like it. I like the purification part of it. Um, so it's become like a practice, but it's a practice that it's easy to resist. It's very funny. Thank you so much for the share, Lara. It's great.
Can I also share
Sí.
about maybe it's inspiring for the others
Yes.
because I used to buy food to can help more people, you know, and also to rejoice because buying food it was helping another business, and I was thinking it's saving time so I can um, help more people. But me taking care of my body, it was meaning to start cooking my own meals, to know
Mm.
the nutrition, to learn nutrition, and now in 1 year and a half too I cook all my meals and I save money. And I rejoice because I do the shoppings. I rejoice because I look at cooking shows and I know how to put things in my plate. And also, I make different cookies that are healthy and I give to my friends. And my friends, when they say we go out for a cookie, I say, no, I come with the cookie and we go out and we eat a healthy cookie. So, in this way, of course, it's 1 year, 2 years almost. I start to be like a master chef, but
Mm.
I discover my self with these qualities step by step. Because if you ask me 2 years ago, Laura, can you cook and it's delicious, it's nutritious? I didn't know because I was like, oh, let's order something. And now taking these steps, I didn't know I'm gonna be here. I didn't know I'm gonna make three delicious meals in one day. But you know, starting point and with the end point, of course it's not the end, I'm still alive, but I love the journey, and I love the things that happen in my life, starting from a pain in my life. And of course now
Mm.
I don't want to still be fat to cook nice and nutritious, but I do my best to keep the best practice.
I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Starting from the pain, I'm giving a talk in 2 weeks, in a week and a half at Three Jewels. That's exactly like turning pain into power. How do you grab a struggle in life and just like turn it around with the same energy and turn it into something blissful, not
Yeah, use my example,
not
say Laura is a master chef now.
I am going to talk about you half the class. No, I'm kidding. I will probably mention you because it is an obvious way. It's like such a clear path. Sometimes it doesn't seem as clear. Um, but yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing something so personal, actually. Um, I would love to invite you, and it's only in person though. So if anybody's in New York on November the 7th, I think is the 7th, Friday 7th, 7 p.m. Um, that it would be great to have you at Three Jewels
Maybe
where I'm
it's
going.
happening a miracle because I'm in Romania, in Bucharest.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening only in New York, unfortunately. In person, like there's no online this time.
I
It's like
believe
an
in
experience.
miracles, so
Well, maybe you have 2 weeks to get here. Um, then what else do we have going on in our mind? Any other ahas to start wrapping up? We have well, we have like a little bit more like oh no, like 7 minutes, 7 minutes to uh kind of like wrap up the session. I'm gonna right here let me see what day because now you guys are asking. I don't know who's gonna be in New York. Correct. So New York, it's gonna be November 7th at 7 p.m. at Three Jewels. Um, that's where I teach most of the times that I teach. So back to us. What are you don't have to unmute yourself. You can drop it in the chat, but I would love to hear like what is one or two takeaways from this session or from this session and the classes yesterday that you are going to take with you that you're either going to try or you're going to apply or you're going to investigate more of what was talked about today. We had very, very good stuff shared today. So that chat should be like flashing. Recognize and rejoice. Yeah, I like that, Becky. Also good to see you. You said it. I know. No. It's great to find inspiration in other struggles. Yes, I love other struggles. I love these sessions like this because of that. I do a few like conversation style stuff. It's the recognition in other people's stuff and why we're all in this practice together is one of the biggest blessings of the community. You all are part of a massive community of amazing practitioners. Tonglen and learning, practicing compassion. Yes, practice Tonglen. Um, it's such an important practice. And if you don't have like somebody to teach you directly in the knowledge base, Geshe has some Tonglen material that is the it's the second best thing than learning it from him or somebody directly. Keeping our vows is one of the best things we can do to progress in our practice. Yes, that is keep your book. If you have the book practice, please keep your book for your sake, for the sake of every being. That's one of those joyful effort things. I keep my book in my phone. I have my phone with me almost all the time. When I used to keep it by hand, sometimes it stayed at home, sometimes it stayed in the altar, sometimes it's a perfect excuse not to watch my vows. Bad idea. Turn your work into a game. Yeah, karmic games. I love them. How can I plant good karmas and intentions, even if the activity is not my favorite? Turning danger to adorable. Ha! What a lovely way to put it. Yeah. Um, take good care of yourself and proper help of others. To be an example, yes, Anastasia, important. This is already kind of teaching. Whatever you do, try to have a good intention, motivation. So, and this is very important, right? Because they say the number that they say, and I don't know if it's like mathematically exact or the point being a lot of it, but like 90% of karma is intention. So that means that even the most menial thing, if you do it with the most powerful of intentions, it can be the most amazing planting. Like doing the dishes. Turn on pain and turn our pain and redirect into helping others to transform and plant new seeds. Yes, more joyful effort. Um, I cannot read the Russian, but I'm sure it's good insight. Sorry. More joy gets seeing difficult people. Yes. Look, I think that I say this all the time to everybody I encounter when we're talking about Dharma and when we're talking about all this, like all the lists are great. All the study classics, yes, I got that one. That like I love that part when Geshe said it, I felt he was speaking to me because I am having this conflict between my professional life and my Dharma life. And Dharma takes more time and more time and more time every day. And I want to work less and less and less. And it's doesn't come from the work. It doesn't. I can guarantee you the money doesn't come from the work. Uh, don't stop studying Dharma. Yes. Oh, good calls, Svetlana. That's a good call. To help stay on track with helping others every day, study 15 minutes. Yeah, that was great. So what I was gonna say before this kicks into like the last minute, and I know we're super sensitive in time, so we don't want to steal time from other people. None of this knowledge works if we don't apply it. Nothing, nothing. We can read all the books and be academics and scholars are at this. We need to apply it. We need to do the dishes thinking about emptiness. We need to relate to people thinking about their emptiness. We need to plant karmas. We need to direct our mind with the most purest of the intentions. there's three scopes of practitioners. We can want to have a good life, a good next life, or we want to break free from this stuff. And break free from this stuff with everyone. Break us free and everyone else. What if doing the dishes is actually awakening me and awakening my mom and awakening my kids and awakening all of you as I sponge the dishes? That's the practice. That's where the mind, imagine how powerful that karma. Like, it's even more powerful than sitting in meditation for 30 minutes out of habit. Like, if I sit in meditation for 30 minutes just because every morning that's what I do, but I'm not like fully there, that's less powerful than doing one dish with the full intention. Because it is the power, the intention behind the karma that charges it, not the action in itself. We're on time. Thank you so much, guys, for all your comments, your ideas, your questions. Please, please, please nurture your community, nurture your Sangha. We learn from each other, we service each other. That's how we plant karmas, through each other. I will see you the next time I have the opportunity to teach or to facilitate one of this or to be there. I hope I get to see you some in person in Kyoto. I'll be in that teaching in person. Take care. Bye-bye.